2-minute ride from the finish line back over to that island mesa where he will start this walk toward history. Once he's dropped there, with the exception perhaps of a handshake from Jim Cantore, it will just be Nik Wallenda and that wire. As you can see, he's wearing a t-shirt and jeans for the walk. He'll also be outfitted with a shirt that has the cameras on it so that we'll get a bird's eye view. I want to set it down to the finish line as we watch this scene to Natalie.
All right, Willie, well, I'm here with Nick's wife, Edendita, and I saw the emotion in your eyes as you watched that helicopter take off. Tell me what you're experiencing right now.
There's so many different emotions right now. I'm not crying because I'm worried about anything going wrong, but I'm so proud of my husband, and I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional.
Take your time.
But as a performer, you know, I'm so proud of him, and I'm so inspired by him, and I just pray that whoever watches this will be inspired as well and never give up on their dreams.
And that's Nick's message all along. And you understand as a performer yourself his need to fulfill this dream. What does this walk mean for him?
It's everything. This is what he's been dreaming about since he was a little boy. I grew up with him, so I knew what I was getting into, because as children he would always be like, Edendita, I want to put a wire from this building to that building. So I've always known, but to actually see it happen right in front of me, I feel so blessed.
How about the children? I saw as Nick was taking off in the helicopter, Amadeus was a little emotional. How are they doing?
You know, I think they're doing fine. I don't know that he's so much emotional. The kids have been watching their father do this since they were 2 weeks old. They were literally on the road with us when they were about 2 weeks old. So I think, of course, they'll be happy once it's over because they get Daddy back and they get more time.
I know you don't say goodbye. What do you tell Nick, though? What did you say before he took off?
Just, I love you, and I know you're going to do great.
Yeah, and is there anything you don't let him do? Because he seems to like to push the envelope a lot.
He does push the envelope a lot, but, you know, Nicholas would never do anything that was dangerous. He is a father before he is a daredevil.
And he's certainly going to have his family and his thoughts as he walks the wire. Just landed there. And indeed, as you can see on that monitor, he's across the way, getting in place at the starting point and getting excited, no doubt, to make history again tonight. And with that, Willie, we'll send it over to you.
And you can see, Natalie, from some of those helicopter shots, the sheer vastness of the canyon in this undertaking. 7 generations of Wallendas have been pushing the bounds of the imagination, but none of them ever have done anything like this. Nik Wallenda first stepped onto a wire at the age of 2. He says he spent a lot of that life dreaming about this very moment. He says his great-grandfather, the great-grandfather he never met, Carl Wallenda, who died in 1978 falling off a wire in Puerto Rico, visited him in his dreams and urged him to go bigger and to go higher, and this is where he's left. Crossing the Grand Canyon, again 1,500 feet down, no tether, no net, nothing to break his fall. 1,400 feet across, that's the length of 4 football fields, about a quarter of a mile. Physically, Nik Wallenda has been ready for weeks, but nothing can really fully prepare him for what he's about to do. As we heard Nick talk about earlier, this incredible walk, in the end, turns into a test of mental toughness. Here's a preview of his inner stream of conversation while he's out on that wire.
Leading up to the walk, there's a lot of nerves. My heart's pounding. There's a lot of anxiety, a lot of excitement, and a lot of tension. One of the biggest challenges is your mind can play a lot of tricks on you. As I step onto that wire, I become more relaxed. I get into a zone where I forget about everything around me. I'm in my own world. It's just me and that wire, and there's a goal, and that goal is to make it to the other side. The first step really tells me a lot about how the wind is playing with that cable. The wind can actually cause rhythms in that cable. After I walk out, within 5 to 6 steps, I can see all the rocks below and be over 1,500 feet above the bottom. It's very, very important that I stay relaxed. If I become extremely nervous, you can actually overreact, and that causes serious, serious problems. In the end, it could cause me to fall off the wire. there'll be a pendulum about every 50 to 75 feet. I'll be counting those down in my head. As I'm walking, I have a lot of pressure on my toes, and I can't really relax. I can't walk perfectly upright. I'll actually be leaning back some and then putting my foot in front of me as I walk. If I lean into that, I would actually fall forward. As I get halfway across, I'm getting more and more comfortable, more and more familiarized with that cable. And as I get 3/4 of the way, more and more comfortable, then of course towards the end, I'll actually start to tear up because I see my kids, I see my wife, I see the smiles on their face, I see the relief on their face. And the exhaustion goes away, and now it's all excitement. We can celebrate. I'm finally there. The truth is, it's life or death. And when I make it to that other side, we all know that it's life.
Nick Wallenda, as you've learned, may look like an ordinary guy, but in mastering his craft, he is the Superman of stunts. And there is no one else on the planet who can do what he is doing today.
A reminder, you can go to Discovery.com live right now. Host Chris Jacobs will have a live interview with Nick's sister, Liana, a Skywalker herself. Also, you can choose your own camera angles from around the canyon during Nick's walk. Nick is getting on the wire live right after this. The countdown now in the final minutes, the final moments.